I'm having the weirdest time right now, and I know I look crazy, but just ignore it. Uh, just thinking about how I turned 30 this year in 3 months, and how weird that feels. And I think there's a few things at play. There's the weirdness that, like, society's kind of told us that, like, 30's old. And, like, when you're under 30, you're young and fun and whatever. And then you turn 30, you settle down, your life is boring. And then you hate yourself and your life until you retire. And then you're, like, free again. I feel like that's the narrative we've been told. So there's, like, that kind of stigma, fear. But also, like, I have never seen myself turning 30. I've never been like, oh, when I turn 30 or in my life, I'm gonna do this, this, this. It's always been like, well, if I make it, it'd be cool to do these things, maybe. Like, people always say, like, oh, like, are you gonna get married? Are you gonna have kids? And I say, like, oh, I'd like to get married. I would like to have kids. But, like, I don't know the future. I'm not saying what I'm, like, I can't say that. I don't know what's happening. So I think the fact that I'm turning 30, I am married, which is insane. 30 and married, and I have a full-time office job. I never saw this for myself, which is like, when I got your stuff, here you go. Which is like cool, but also terrifying, because I mean, these aren't things I ever looked forward to, or really, I'm not saying didn't value, but like, I didn't grow up being like, yeah, can't wait to get married, can't wait to have a job and be old. Like, I had friends that are just like, oh, I just can't wait to grow up. I just want to, like, be an adult and, have my own stuff. And I've never wanted that. But now I have it. I don't have, like, I'm working towards financial stability. I'm extremely not there. But now I have a job, so that makes money like 1% less terrifying. But I don't want to be stuck here. I don't know. I don't want to, like, go through the world like, I'm so old, I'm 30. And I feel like I kind of resort to that, like, offhandedly when people are like, oh, you're turning 30, or oh, I'm 30. Like, it just feels like the easiest reaction is, oh my god, I'm so old, I'm so old. When, like, underneath all of that is actually the feelings of, like, holy shit, I didn't know, like, if I'd ever be 30. And I don't mean to say that in, like, a super, like, suicidal way, but also just, like, I think kind of, like, I know there's, like, levels of suicidal ideation. And so maybe that's kind of just, like, a lower level of, like, you just don't see a future yourself. Like, you're not actively suicidal, but you just don't know if you're gonna be around. And I know that's not uncommon. I know a lot of people have felt that or still feel that. But I don't want to, like, contribute to the stigma of being 30 and being like, oh my god, I'm so old. When, like, turning 30 is a massive privilege that a lot of people don't get. And I'm sure we all know people that did not get that opportunity. And so I want to be, not like grateful, but just like respectful of that, of, being mindful and honoring that it's a privilege. But I'm not like excited for, I feel like people make comments and they just want a reaction. So it's either like, yeah, I'm 30, or it's like, oh my god, I'm 30. But for me, it's not just one reaction. It's like shock. I think shock And so like, just like, whoa, I never planned for this. So I don't really know what to do now. I don't know how to feel about this. I think there's also maybe like a little bit of grief that like, this isn't where I thought my life would go. Not in a bad way. I don't know how to explain that one, but I do feel like some sort of sadness. I don't know what that's for. I mean, I think there's a part of our identities that's tied to being young. At least for me, it has. You know, you're in rooms with people and you're like the youngest person in the room. You're the youngest person in the program. When I was traveling, when I was 19, I was the youngest person in my group. So I'm just kind of used to being in spaces where my like part of my identity is like the young person. So kind of moving into this being 30s space, it kind of feels like a marker of like, yeah, that's not really your identity anymore. Like, you're not a young person, you know, you can't, I'll say like you can speak on behalf of young people ever, but like you're not part of that demographic. Like this is just like a really like definite marker, I guess, of like being in your 20s. A lot of youth programs go to, you know, 30s kind of when they cut off. So just, I don't know, a lot of feelings, and I'm just processing them literally in real time with you. Sorry. But yeah, I want to keep processing it and being, just as I said, like being mindful of how I speak about it, but also how I think about it. Because as I said, like my initial reaction was like, oh my God, 30, I'm so old, meh. Kind of like, oh, maybe there's the sadness of like, oh, I haven't done all the things I thought I would have done by now. Or my life isn't what I like dreamed it would look like. And that doesn't mean my life is bad. It's just not where I dream of ending up, if that makes sense. So I think there's maybe a touch of that, or like previous generations, by 30, they're all married, kids, and they're in a job that they're going to be in for the next, what, 35 years. And I'm not there. Yeah, that's it. If I have more thoughts, I'll share them. But as I said, I just want to be more mindful of how I speak. It kind of feels like, oh, I need to decide how I feel so then I know what to say, or I know how to react when people talk about being 30 or turning 30. Yeah, I guess I would like to be in a place of, you know, gratitude, but just like feeling like self-assured, feeling comfortable in myself, in my life, in my journey, that I can see 30 as like, cool, what a cool like next chapter I get to go into. This new time in my life where I can talk about, oh, in my 30s, like that starts literally now. How cool is that? And seeing my grandparents live to like their 80s or 90s is like, okay, cool, like we still have time, you know? Yeah, so there's lots of feelings, fear and not joy, but maybe gratitude. I don't know if gratitude's a feeling, or just like sense of calm and security. That's what I want. I just want to feel like secure. No, it's Luna. I just want to feel secure in myself, my decisions, my life. And that turning 30 or someone else's opinions don't kind of sway that, or, you know, impact the way I view myself or the things around me. Oh,